Hello, I'm sorry about the slight tech issues there. So I'm back, different platform. And this is the thing, whether it's tech, whether it's how you feel, that you always have to just keep going. And even if something happens and it doesn't quite work the first time, you have to just keep saying, right, how can I make that difference and keep going? And this is really one of the things that it's baby steps. I remember when I first, when I was really depressed at one point in my life, and my dad sent me a card, and I was living in another country, and I was really struggling. And he sent me a card, and it just had a picture of elephants on it. And he said, you just have to keep going and put one step in front of the other. And I've remembered that, for the last 20 years, because it really is, it resonates, because actually that's what we have to do. We have to just put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And when we have those moments where something happens, actually when we're in challenging moments of our lives, whether we are feeling really depressed or anxious, or we have had some kind of trauma in our lives, actually when you can make that leap forward, then actually this is a really special time. And there's a lot of research from Martin Seligman, who is the father of personal psychology, who says that actually the moments that are most challenging in our lives are actually the opportunities when we can really make a change. And very often we can feel stuck, where we just are uncomfortably hiding away. We're accepting the status quo. We're accepting what's just the usual. And it's only when at those moments where we are most challenged that we can make that leap forward, that personal leap forward. And so when you are having periods where you feel, life is tough and you are most challenged, actually the way that you can start to see this and frame of reference, see it differently, is actually by saying, you know what, this is a challenging time in my life, but actually I can see this as, rather than framing as post-traumatic stress, you frame it as post-traumatic growth, and you grow with the situation. And those times in our life when we have, really had challenges, whatever it may be, whether it was, after having a baby or something difficult in our life, divorce or death or whatever it may be, those points where you are really forced to go within and look at your life, that's when you can leap forward. And by leaping forward, that is when you have the most growth. And so don't see these periods of darkness as, something where it's, oh no, that you mask it. Accept it, go within, but then leap forward. Use it as an opportunity to leap forward. And so, this is all about the language and the frame of reference we use. And we can say, we can use it as a label to say, oh, I have, whatever it may be, like I've had a traumatic incident, and you can stay in that. You can choose to say that you are suffering with whatever issue you've got, and by just staying stuck and staying there, you're not moving forward. But you can also choose to say, you know what, I am going to have this moment and see it as an opportunity to really change my life and to move forward. And so for many of us, actually, say for me, when I gave birth to my son, I had major incontinence issues. Like I couldn't walk down a hill without wetting myself. And it was a really challenging time for me. I had gone from I was a journalist and I was reporting around the world, doing a really exciting, interesting job. And suddenly I couldn't even walk down a hill without wetting my pants. So that was really tough, and it affected my mental health massively. And so at that point, I could have stayed and said, you know what, actually, I feel really stuck, and stayed right there. But instead, I chose to see it as a point where I was going to absolutely do everything possible to leap forward. And so by leaping forward, you can, by using things like audiobooks, they're really great to kind of switch out your frame of reference, how you're feeling and thinking about yourself. So listening to audio, of really great people like, whether it's Denise Duffield Thomas or Wayne Dyer or Eckhart Tolle. There's so many amazing, or Headspace, the app, so many different ways where you can actually, just by listening to something, it can change the way you feel instantly. The second thing that I would suggest that you do is also by using the technique that I really love by Mel Robbins, which is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And literally every time you feel stuck, whatever situation you're in, that you literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it. So let's say you don't want to get out of bed and you feel really uncomfortable and upset and you would rather hide away. By saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right, let's just do this. You are positioning yourself where you just have to take action, and you're like, okay, I know I don't like doing this, but I'm not giving myself that opportunity, that get out clause. I'm just going to take action and do it. And so by doing that, by, whatever it may be, going to the gym or just getting out of bed, it can really make a big difference. So I love that. And so whenever I feel stuck and I'm not taking action, I do that and it makes me take action. Okay, so the third thing that really helped me is yoga. So yoga and breathing. And so when you are feeling really lost and just very vulnerable, actually by going to a yoga class can really help you. And so at particularly difficult times in my life, I've always gone to yoga classes. So, and I would try and go at like 7 in the morning to a yoga class before I started work. So it set me up for the day. And that really helped me to just really, get myself into the right frame of mind. So I was calm. And of course, the breathing in yoga really helps you, because if you're shallow breathing, you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. And so when you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain, you are operating in a space where your brain isn't working properly and functioning, so that you're not able to think clearly and make rational decisions. When you breathe properly, right down to your diaphragm, you are thinking more clearly, and that enables you to move forward and, just give valuable information to people, so that you're really helping them in the way that you are best able to do that. It enables you to do what you want to do rather than feeling stuck and staying and hiding. Because I know it's easy to hide. We all have moments when we hide. But this enables you to really, actually take action. Okay, so the next thing that I would really suggest that helped me a lot, and this helped me to stop hiding and really start living, and it sounds vain and frivolous, but honestly, it was monumental at the time, was going to see a personal shopper. So I went to John Lewis, but you could go to any store, and they basically have free personal shoppers. So you can book in and go and see someone for an hour. So obviously with coronavirus, we can't do that at the moment. But by actually just getting some new clothes, it makes you feel so much better. And particularly, when you're going through a transition in your life, after maybe a messy breakup, or you've just had a baby, whatever that big life change moment is, actually by getting some new clothes, it can help you to feel so much better. And the way you view yourself, because that really matters. So, that can make a big, big difference. Then the next tip I would say is just to be kind to yourself. So there are going to be moments in your life when you are struggling, when you do want to hide away. But when you are kind to yourself, it makes a massive difference. And when you show kindness to yourself by, doing things that are good for you, so practicing self-care, whether that's like a bubble bath, whether that is things that just really nurture and look after you. One of the ways that I really try and practice self-care is actually by journaling, by giving myself that time and that space. So just putting a few notes in, just to be able to say, do this to help you. And I would literally very often write down 3 things I'm grateful for every single day. And again, this is Martin Seligman, the father of positive psychology. He says that if you write down 3 things you are grateful for every single day, it has a massive impact on your resilience and the way that you show up. And so by doing this, his research showed that it worked with people who had massive trauma from, being in like the Iraq War. They were soldiers suffering from post-traumatic stress, or children who'd gone through very difficult situations. Just simply by writing down 3 things you're grateful for every day can have a real impact on your life. So it can be very simple things. It could be, I'm grateful for watching the leaves unfold on the trees, or I'm grateful that I can walk on my 2 feet, or that I'm able to see the sunshine and the sun's shining today. Whatever it is, it can be the small things that you're grateful for. But by being grateful for the small things, it roots you and grounds you, so that then you have better resilience and you're able to cope with the more difficult things. So even on the days when you're really challenged, you can find the small things that make you happy. You can find those moments that can really help you to pull you out of the times when you are struggling. And, there's a lot of research about how this can really help. And if you have children, this can also really work well with children as well. And, I've been doing this for many, many years. I think I saw Oprah talking about it probably 15 years ago, and I started doing it. And then I read Martin Seligman's work on it. It's an amazing book called Flourish, which I would strongly recommend to anyone. It's such a great book. But also I found a book, and you can get them on Amazon and other places, where I found like a children's version of it, and I do it with my son every day. And actually it's such a lovely thing to do with children, because it makes them start thinking of things that they are grateful for, and that they are, appreciate the small things of life. Because particularly at the moment, if you can appreciate the small things, just the beauty, the joy of being in nature, hearing birdsong, we absolutely love going to see the birds and, seeing the swans nesting. All of those things are really special. And if you can appreciate those things, then you can also start to appreciate, the bigger things of life. So, so when you do feel like challenged, this can help with your resilience, so that you can move forward, that you can stop hiding away and really take action, so that you can start living a joyful life every single day. Well, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. I promise I will pop on and do more of these. Susie and I have been working on some courses, which we're so excited to share with you for Psychologies. And so we will be sharing those really, really soon. But for now, I'm going to say bye-bye. And it's a real joy to get to know you. Bye for now.